everybody. It's April 24th, it's Friday, and today I'm going to make risotto. And I got a change of scenery. I thought we'd go this way instead of that way. Anyway, I have a pot on where today we're going to do mushroom and Fontina cheese risotto. It's one of my go-to recipes that I've done many times for many of my friends, and everybody seems to like it. So I have a pan here ready to go. It's already warm. Gonna put a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. I have an onion that I've chopped up. So we'll let that cook down a little bit, sweat it out. I found in the past when you have spaghetti sauce or a sauce that someone's done and they haven't cooked down the onions very well and they're still really raw in the sauce, and I hate that texture. So make sure you cook them down. I have 3 garlic cloves that I've crushed. You can already smell the garlic coming through. It's such a beautiful smell. So I've got 4 different types of mushrooms. I've done your regular white mushroom, your criminy mushroom. I got I forgot what they're called. I forget what they're called, but they're nice. Shiitake mushrooms. And I also have some dried porcini mushrooms that I've dehydrated. No, they were dehydrated, and I hydrated them with some water. I'm keeping the liquid for later on when we cook the risotto. A little bit more garlic. So now I am going to put in, I've got about maybe 3 cups of each mushroom, except for the porcini, which is maybe 2 ounces dried. And I'm going to put them all in. Here's the porcini mushrooms. So we're just gonna, one got away. So we're just gonna cook all these things down. A little bit of pepper, freshly ground. A little bit of salt. White wine. And I've got about 2 tablespoons of freshly chopped rosemary. So we'll just let this cook down. So now we're going to cook the risotto. I've got some chicken broth that's boiling that I made. It's homemade chicken broth that I always have ready in the freezer. My mushrooms are ready to go. This is arborio rice. You must use arborio. You can't use long grain or anything like that. It won't work. This is about 2 cups. So I'm going to throw it in, mix it up, and just sort of let all the juices go into all the rice. And here's a little trick that I learned. You know when you get your Parmesan cheese and you've got the crusts, keep them. And when you do things like that, just throw the whole thing in to the risotto, and it's a really beautiful extra flavor that you get. So now you can hear that it's sort of getting crunchy on the bottom, which is what I want. I'm going to put in about a cup of wine. This is some Pinot Grigio. And we'll let that absorb into the rice. Now this is sort of an act of love. You have to go slowly and stir all the time. My mom's funny actually, when she made this, she wouldn't let us stir because she felt that you have to stay in clockwise. You can't mix it all over the place, and she got really annoyed if people got in there and didn't mix it properly. So what you do is you put in about 3/4 of a cup at a time of broth, not more than that, and you just gently stir it in. And you're going to be doing this until the rice is ready and tender. It'll take a while, so I won't make you watch the whole way. But the whole idea is just a little bit of soup at a time so that it'll cook slowly, and all the arborio rice will turn into a nice creamy finish. If you put all the liquid in all at once, it would just turn into a rice dish, but not as creamy as if you did it slowly. And it's important to have good quality broth. You know, I always make my broth and I have low sodium so that you can adjust the seasoning to your liking, and no fat. I always get rid of all the extra fat in the broth. I did a YouTube video of Nona's soup. That's what we call the broth. We grew up with my mom baking a big pot, you see it here, of broth every Sunday. So we would go to church in our Sunday best, and when we came home, the broth would be ready, and in the broth, she would have some short ribs, like the big meaty ones. So that'd be our Sunday lunch. Every week we would have a bowl of beautiful soup with pastina, some arrozo little noodles in it, and then after that we would have the meat, mashed potatoes, and a beautiful salad fresh from our garden. And that was our lunch every Sunday, as long as I can remember. Unless it was Easter or something like that, then we'd have the, you know, gazillion courses to eat. I've made this risotto quite a few times for my friends. I think a lot of my friends will recognize this dish when it's finished. I've made it quite often for 50, 60, 70 people at a time. It's always been a big favorite for everybody. So I'll be back when it's finished, just before it's finished, to show you how to finish it off. It's almost done. I'm going to put just a tiny bit more broth in, and that's it. And I'm going to just let it sit. So now to finish it off, I'm turning off the oven, or the stove. I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of butter in. This gives it a really nice glisten to the rice, and it sort of just finishes it all off. And then, as you know, Parmigiano Reggiano. About a cup of that, you put it in. I'm going to take out the cheese. Where did it go? It's hiding on me. There it is. Now the best part of this dish is the Fontina cheese. I'm going to put it in a sec. Okay, so just to finish it off, I've got about 6 ounces of Fontina cheese that I've cubed, and I'm throwing it in. And you stir it in, and it gets into this really beautiful, gooey, melted yum. So now, once it's all pretty much melted in, it's done, and it's delicious. And by the way, risotto doesn't wait for anybody, so this is the kind of dish that you can't do in advance. You can do the mushroom part, all that part beforehand, but then when you're ready to eat, it takes about 25-30 minutes to do it properly, so think about that. Anyway, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, a little bit of parsley, and there you go. Buon appetito. It's one of my favorite dishes. I love it. Okay, thanks again. See you next time. And I'm going to do another YouTube video on how I did the broth. And stay tuned for that. Thanks. Bye.